Share Beirut presents Mohamad Tarakkiye.
Uh, Thank you. My name is Mohamad Tarakkiye. I'm here representing Hurriyanat. For those of you who don't know what Hurriyanat is, it's basically the name we chose for the anti-censorship campaign in Jordan. I'm going to start a little bit about the history of Jordan, just so you can understand why Hurriyanat came into existence. Essentially, when we first started, internet enters Jordan in 1996. It was basically free. It was totally open. There was nothing being blocked. People could use it the way they wished. Now, in 2000, this created a boom in internet cafes in Jordan. Actually, funny story. There's a street in Jordan that entered the Book of Guinness as the biggest number of internet cafes in one street. I think the number was around 200 or something. So when more people started accessing the internet, the government started trying to regulate it by putting regulations on internet cafes. It started asking them to filter content, to keep records of who uses the internet, and to provide that information to the government upon request. Now, jump 2002. That was the date where the first website in Jordan was actually blocked. It was called the ArabTimes.com. It used to post critical articles about the government in Jordan. And nothing happened until 2007. That's when the government basically had regulations that said that all ISPs are legally obliged to remove anything that's criminal, all criminal content in the internet. And in 2008, this led that Jordan was listed by Reporters Across Borders as under surveillance for being an enemy of the internet. Now, up until 2008, it was just one website blocked, a couple of others. It didn't seem that the government wanted to control the internet, and you can see that, clearly in this statement that was spoken by Queen Rania. She said that I'm speaking about Jordan where there's no censorship on the internet, because censorship like this, it cannot continue and it's not effective. And after 2008, this is when everything changed. The government drafted a new law, cybercrimes law. And this law had many provisions that could be seen as restrictive to the process of internet. And in 2010, they blocked all news websites from civil servants. If you worked in the government, during office hours, you could not see any news website. And then the authorities started asking Google to remove content off its search results. And then the campaign started to block porn websites. And after that, they came up with the really, really stupid draconian press and publications law. And the thing about this law, it's dangerous. It's targeted against news websites, and it requires them by law to register. If you have any website that deals with Jordanian affairs, internal or external, you're required by law to register and basically be treated exactly like any other press publication in the country. And you're also required to have a chief editor who has been a member of the Reporters Guild. And one of the most alarming things is that it treated comments on the news articles as basically محتوى إعلامي. فبasically you have to check the facts of the comments before you post them. You have to make sure who wrote them, and the newspaper, as in the chief editor of the newspaper, is responsible for the content inside these comments. So essentially, it's virtually impossible to have a comment system on a news website. And the alarming thing is, this was a trend going on, that the government started talking about the new telecommunications law that would ban pornography. and basically install other things to ban bad websites. And for us, this was very alarming, and we decided we have to do something against this. So this is when we started our first initiative. It was a Facebook page called I Know How to Protect Myself. It was against government filtration of basically websites it's deemed unsuitable for people. We also had events where people could come up and talk to each other, such as Amman Tech Tuesdays. They made the censorship edition, and we had a healthy discussion between the people who were pro-censorship and anti-censorship. We started posting information that might help people, such as the IP addresses of different websites, just in case the government decides someday it wants to block Wikipedia or Facebook. So we started building awareness on how to access these websites, even if it wasn't censored. And we started Hurriyanet. Hurriyanet is a group of bloggers, developers, and other people who believe that the internet is an open platform and should remain that way. We organized this big blackout event to raise awareness where more than 270 Jordanian websites installed this code so that whenever somebody accessed the website on that day, it showed a big black screen and it said that the contents of this website might be banned under the new press and publications law. And some people had their own ideas on how to put a screen, such this and this. And yeah. So eventually, when the law got passed anyway, we decided to hold a protest, to actually go on the ground and get people. Now that's the thing in Jordan. People used to protest a lot online, but they've never done anything on the ground. So we decided that since the law was being discussed in the parliament, that we actually have to show that people actually care enough about this law to go to the streets and protest for the right for a free and fair internet. So we organized an event. First of all, we printed a eulogy for the internet. And we actually organized a funeral right in front of the parliament, where we held a casket and walked in front of parliament, and we called it the funeral for the freedom of the internet. So this was basically what we've done in Jordan. I wanted to share with you some of the stuff, because mostly it was an online protest. People kept creating lots of interesting images that we shared. There was one of the first ones. It says, I was eaten the day the white bull was eaten. And this is another one by Omar Abdullah. He's a creative Jordanian caricaturist. First it says, thank God they banned porn websites. Then it says, thank God they burned news websites. Then it said, thank God they boycotted the internet. And then at the end it says, my laptop, where's my laptop? This is one of the more traditional characters. This was one of my favorites. This is by Warsha. They basically changed the word boycott, censoring the internet to censoring reality just by removing one letter. And this is another one by Omar Abdullah. It basically satires how in Jordan, whenever there's a protest, you find lots of policemen who dress like this. So also Khartoum was very popular in the protest. And this one, the worst thing about internet censorship is, and this one's my absolute favorite. This one says, as long as I'm an idiot and I don't know how to protect myself, can the government kindly come and wipe my ass? This one says, you have reached the end of you have reached the borders of the internet. This is an official form where this guy requests from the government that he wants to like a status on Facebook and post congratulations to his friend who just got married. This one's satiring that if they actually do ban pornography on the website, people will go back to tapes. So, and This is the last one. He's basically asking his friend, do we have 4G internet yet? And he says, it's a play on words, we've become فرجة للعالم كله. So yeah, this is the story of internet in Jordan from 1996 to 2012. But we're not going to take this lying down. We're going to actually fight, and we're going to continue with HorriyaNet, even though all the laws were passed already. And I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.